How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Blue Shifting, and welcome back to Muv-Luv Monday. Today's the day. We're starting it off. And I am scared. Oh my gosh. It's really setting the stage for a real messy operation, and nothing's off the table. I mean, we're in a bad timeline. We're technically in a dead-end timeline. They could do whatever they want to us, the writers, and they could be horrifically brutal. I don't want them to, but them's the breaks, so... Here we are. We're going to be going over battle strategy today. So depending on how, the prep for this goes, that might be all that this episode is. It depends on how long it takes. It might just be all prep. It happens before. I think it happened with Operation Cherry Blossom, and I think it kind of happened with the Operation 21st, which was the when they first tested the Susano. So we'll see, but we'll get into it. I don't want this to be too short an episode, but I also don't want to get too heavily invested before, I have to cut it off in a really awkward place. So I might be looking for a good place to end it. So bear that in mind. I'm going to do the best I can to make this interesting, but also don't want to take too long. I may sound like I'm dragging it out, but I really just want to make sure this is the best content I can make, and I want to make sure I make it digestible. I don't like things being too long too often. Anyway, enough about that. You don't want to hear about nuts and bolts and editing. We want to get right to the action, so let's do it. All hands attention.
楽にしてくれ。これより JFK 背部攻略作戦のブリーフィングを開始する。
Yes, let's get it.
今作戦はアメリカ、日本帝国、カナダ、フランスの4カ国を中心とし、国連軍を加えた全人類の共同作戦となる。
So we have been collabed with the United Nation forces that remain. This is good. I wonder if they're still mostly in space, or if there are ground troops that are here, but where'd they come from, you know?
なお、今回の作戦指揮はアメリカが取ることになるが、これは新国連の軍組織再構成が間に合わなかったための特例措置であることを理解してほしい。
Convenient that the US gets to take charge, but you know what? They won the war. They're got the most, assets to work with, so makes sense.
さて、作戦目的は現存する唯一の陸上背部 JFK 背部の攻略である。
Interesting. Land-based hive. So I wonder if they do hypothesize that it could be underwater hive. Because that's what my kind of prevailing theory is, that there were hives being constructed, and maybe not full hives that were intended to launch material into space, but simply stepping stones to get to the parts of the planet that couldn't be reached before. Because to me that makes a lot of sense, since they have shown that the water pressure is something they can deal with. It just makes them really slow, but they can manage. So it just seems odd they never seem to make water-based hives. And so I'm guessing that's the case.
我々戦術機部隊の役割は JFK 背部周辺に上陸、スタブに突入し、その最深部にある反応炉を停止することになる。
Ironically, he's talking about doing an operation successfully that really had never been done. In this universe, it never really has been done. But they're just going to do it now with much more limited resources. But the argument being the beta probably have much more limited resources too, so maybe we're on the same staging ground. I highly doubt that.
この作戦には人類の未来全てがかかっている。我々は何としてでもこの作戦を成功させなくてはならない。
Cool, yeah.
作戦概要は私から説明する。はじめに再確認しておく。JFK 背部はフェーズ2段階まで成長していることが監視衛星からの観測情報で判明している。
Alright, so the UN forces are on ships, so that says that they actually have pilots and such. So maybe they were just kind of incorporated into the US before now, just because I feel like we weren't seeing them being overtly displayed. Or maybe we rescued a lot of them from space. The other option simply being, I was thinking oh, maybe they actually have ships still, but it's actually more likely they're just on board ships that they're borrowing from Japan and US. They just are labeling them as the contingent fleet, even though it's not fully operated by them.
だがフェーズ2段階だからといって侮ってはならない。かつての横浜背部同様にモニュメントの成長速度と スタブの成長が必ずしも一致していない事例も過去には確認されている。
Right, exactly.
また最新の情報にはなるが JFK ハイブ周辺の熱量が増大していることが確認されている。
Also, right. You guys are gonna be screaming at me in the comments, but that's right. The Yokohama hive was taken, and it was taken because it was a, like, less mature hive, but they had to use G-bombs to do it, if I recall correctly, because that's why the area around is so desolate of life. So, yeah, it's still an operation that really hasn't ever been completed like this, where it's, like, the TSS have to actually do the theoretical, which is go into the what do they call it? The chimney, right? They have to go into it and destroy the core. It's been the theoretical idea that's just never been truly implemented. They've always had to resort to massive, like, weapons of mass destruction. So yeah. Yeah.
くそ、やっぱり嫌がるのか。
Pain? That's a good word for it.
冗談じゃねえぞ。
そうだ、諸君らの予想通りレーザー級の存在する可能性が格段に上がったということだ。
I mean, the beta that attacked in in episode 1, they had lasers, so didn't they? Could have sworn they did. We were one half a step too late. While the human race is busy playing stupid power games, our mortal enemies are gathering their strength. Maybe if we didn't waste our time fighting against Canada and France, things would be different, but we can't take the past back. The gods of a sense of humor, all right.
よって我々は JFK ハイブをフェーズ2相当ではなくフェーズ3からフェーズ4への成長段階のハイブとして認定することにした。
Alright, so they're planning an operation based on the knowledge that, an idea that it's more advanced than it appears. Phase 4, so we're assuming the stab goes deeper than 1,000 meters underground.
それでは作戦を説明する。まず第1段階はハイブ攻略の基本通り艦砲射撃と誘導弾の飽和攻撃による面制圧によって JFK ハイブ周辺の地上に展開するベータを相当する。
What about heavy metal rounds? Do we have any of those? Because I'd feel a lot more comfortable if they had some of that.
艦隊は水平線の盾を使用することになる。よって周辺の地形を考慮し艦隊中枢は JFK ハイブから30キロほど離れた海上に展開することになる。
Relatively safe, but like, don't count them out. Like, the Navy is so critical to these battles, and they're easily, like, that can easily become a problem where they can be attacked. Especially with unforeseen stuff happening every time we go into one of these. The main guns can reach that far, huh?
この時 AL 弾を継続投入し高濃度の重金属雲を展開させる。 ただし
Okay.
AL 弾の投入量は通常のハイブ攻略作戦の 70% 程度になる。
Right, limited resources. So we have them. We have them. Good, I'll feel better. Still not a good situation, but I feel better. 70% the usual numbers. Is that the best we can do these days?
この第1段階で地上に初期展開しているベータの 50% を相当する予定だ。
But that's never close to the actual numbers they have. Wonder if that's a realistic target with the reduced heavy metal clouds. There's gonna be a bunch of laser class waiting for us, meaning we don't know how effective guided missiles are gonna be, not very, if history's any indication.
今回の作戦での人類最大の利点は艦砲射撃を潤沢に使用できる点である。 JFK ハイブは海岸沿いにあるため陸上海上双方からの砲撃が可能になる。
Yeah, that's true. Like, count our blessings. That's one of them.
そして作戦は第2段階へとシフトする。我々戦術機部隊の出番はここからになる。
Okay.
上陸第1陣はアメリカ海兵隊のスーパーホーネットと帝国海兵隊バダ積みだ。上陸地点は配布した資料に記されているので確認するように。
Okay, so the Marines are the tip of the spear again. Lieutenant Gelberg got her wish. Come to think of it, didn't she say she was JFK's sole survivor? Yeah, this is gonna be really interesting. I wonder if we're gonna be able to see much from her perspective from this. I also wouldn't be surprised if she fell here, because I feel like she's gonna be the kind of person who she kind of feels guilty for being the only survivor. While she's not gonna be frivolous with it, I don't see her being the one to retreat, and being first on the ground is never great for your odds. No wonder she's so adamant about it. This is personal.
上陸したアメリカ並びに帝国の海兵隊は 支援砲撃を受けつつ橋頭砲を確保。後続の戦術機部隊を呼び込む。橋頭砲から上陸した部隊は展開し、さらに後続の上陸を支援する。その際別動隊が迂回して機甲部隊を上陸させる段取りになっている。
Gotcha, gotcha. Also, I like the poetry of like episode 0, you know, being like kind of the prelude to all of this, being part of like this kind of grandiose climax. I don't know if this is even the true climax though, because there could be some insane stuff that happens after this operation. It just depends on how they wrote the story. But if this is the main climax, it is very poetic that it comes right back around. And even if it's not the main climax, it is pretty cool. And I'm really curious to see if the JFK hive is being built around it. Like, I'm still theorizing that, like, it could have been, like, a hive core. But I felt like the hive core in Yokohama was too big. And I feel like it likely either got destroyed or, like, was destroyed as Alternative 4 was, like, decommissioned. I could see them just destroying it since it probably posed a risk, especially if they realize what might happen to it. So the alternative being that what if the JFK's hive is centered around a mind that is encased in the beta fluids? I made this prediction a long time ago. What if the JFK was transporting the remains of a certain Sumika? And what if she's become the new hive, like, mind control leader? Like, obviously she's not in a state to be able to do much with that, but it could be that they've built around her as a source of their, like, core. And they're probably still working off of just basic instinct, not really actually receiving instructions from the core. But I could see an interesting poetic dynamic to that. It'd be really interesting to see if that's the case.
各戦術機部隊の発進スケジュールは資料に記載してあるので確認するように。
The Marine Corps will land first, followed by the French, Canadian, Imperial, and the rest of the American forces in that order. The Americans' precious Raptors and the IRG will be deployed right at the very end. Yeah, so... Well, I think everyone here saw that coming.
その後、上陸した戦術機部隊は分散してレーザーヤークトに入る。この特艦で我々はレーザー属種の 70% 以上を相当することを目標とする。
So spread out and make it so that if the lasers are firing, they're only able to hit a few of us at a time.
無論、これはあくまで必要最低限の数字だ。撃破率は高ければ高いほどいい。だが、この段階が本作戦の一番の難関になると予想されている。
Oh, not the almost impossible task of getting into the darn thing. No, it's this part that's the hard part.
レーザーヤークトは通常でも難度の高い作戦になるが、今回はAL 弾によるレーザー減衰が通常より低くなる。またそれと比例して支援砲撃の非撃墜率も上昇していることが考えられる。
We'll have no choice but to go mano a mano with a laser class without a single thing covering our butts. What I don't get is why. This ain't your standard culling operation. We're aiming for the reactor, sitting pretty all the way at the bottom of the stab. But why not just carve a path directly to the hive through the laser class that are in our way? Maybe maybe the implication there is that they don't want to just, like, conquer this hive, they want to secure it. That could make sense if they really want to make sure they get to, like, what they consider to be down there, the documents, and maybe what the core is, you know, they might be wanting to get that. Anything that Miyoko Sensei left, they might consider at this point all of it precious, regardless of what it is. So they might just want to recover everything here, which would mean they have to, like, call the entire thing. The other thing that's interesting to me too is, like, just remembering, so regardless, if the hive built around the JFK because of what was there inside it, I wonder if as the stab went down, did they just take out whatever they were constructing around and kind of break down, like, the ship completely? Or did they kind of absorb the ship as part of the reactor, so when we get down there we're gonna find a big aircraft carrier like being partially kind of enveloped by beta growth? That'd be really cool and make a great screenshot.
そして今回の作戦の成否は諸君らの活躍以下にかかっている。なぜなら我々はレーザー級の 70% 以上を相当した後、OSP1400 からの核ミサイル投下を計画しているからだ。
Okay, I was thinking this would be good. Also, someone pointed out, like, I'd forgotten the name of the S11 nuclear devices. You know, that they would strap onto TSFs to use as suicide bombers if worst came to worst. I wonder if they're going to redeploy some of that. Like, they're not talking about it, but we know Japan gave a lot of them to America. Doesn't it make sense for them to be deployed in an operation like this? I mean, you don't want to be careful about it, but I could see that being a thing. So we're going to try and drop a nuke on them. Pretty solid. We just got to make sure the lasers don't take it out, which is another observation, because I think I mentioned how, like, why don't they just nuke it? Like, someone pointed out, like, you're forgetting about laser. I apologize. It's been so long since we've had to deal with lasers, I kind of just forgot that they shoot down everything, not just TSFs. Like, I always think of them as a threat to the TSF because that's the point of view we always watch these from. But yeah, like, them shooting down armaments, missiles, projectiles of any kind is a big issue. So yeah, like, I apologize again for that. I get so caught up in stuff sometimes I forget the little things. But yeah, here we are. A nuclear strike. Now that wasn't SOP in the old days. I mean, it'd be dumb to turn the very territory we're fighting to retake into a glow-in-the-dark wasteland ourselves. But the JFK Hive is on the high seas. It ain't our land, never has been. There's no reason to hold back.
静かにしてくれ。第3段階の説明をする前に OSP1400 の現状について説明しておく。
Right, I imagine they have very little if no resources left. This might be the last operation we can expect from them.
現在 OSP1400 は国連軍の命令により本作戦への協力体制をとっている。ただし通信は完全な状態とは言えず、未だに断続的かついつ接続できるのか不明な状態が続いている。
That's awful.
よってリアルタイム接続による作戦指示は困難であり、それを補うために我々は諸君らの手元に配布した資料に記載されたタイムスケジュールで作戦を実行する必要がある。
So we have a hard timer we're going against. Now, maybe if we can establish communication, we could delay it, but we're just going to assume that that's just not going to work, because why would it work in an assault like this? So, you're talking... Ooh. I don't like that. That's scary, because they could launch a nuke and have it be completely ineffective if we're not able to get the lasers down. Like, that means we're pushed up against a deadline. That means we're going to end up having to be riskier than we might want to be, because any sort of delay could mean we could be in the drop zone of a nuke at best case scenario. Or worst case scenario, the nuke could just be fired out of the sky, leaving us trapped in the middle of a beta hive that's waking up and climbing up out of the ground around us with nothing to do with it. So if it all goes to hell, we just gotta push forward like nothing happened? Are they insane? Desperate would be the word.
通常であれば地球周回に合わせるなどの時間調整が可能だが、今回の核は軌道上の格闘者衛星から発射後約25分で地上に到達し爆発する。
Call fetch.
つまり我々は各10日までに規定数のレーザー級を相当し、かつ核爆発までに安全圏へと脱出しなければならない。
Oh yeah. Just make sure you kill 70% of all the laser class and get away from the blast area in proper time, without anything going wrong.
この作戦は一度動き出したら止められないということだ。ただし再度言っておくが、我々はギリギリまで OSP1400 とのリアルタイム通信を維持するつもりだ。
Well, at least we did have a kind of a false run. It wasn't false, but we got to see that TSFs that are in the blast radius, at least somewhere in the blast radius, were able to, once the launch had been detected, were able to get, like, to safety. Relative safety, I guess. You know, I mean, Yuzuka definitely got hurt, and TSF did not do very well, which we kind of need them to do well in this case. And the terrain won't be in our favor because there's no mountains. Ugh. Ooh, ugh. You know what oddly would be one of the best places to go? It'd be to throw yourself into the ocean. The water would actually do a decent job trying to, like, mitigate the sonic wave, and could protect you from the radiation. But at the same time, like, we're talking such a powerful blast that it could still affect the water. And like, it's like, water shock waves are interesting because they, like, it tends, like, if you're going from air to water, that traversal of energy just usually is pretty messy because, you know, energy flows wherever it's easiest to go. it's a lot easier for air to continue to go outward through the air rather than down to the ground and through the water. But some will. And you're talking like megatons of force, so it's going to happen. When you have pressure differentials in water, it's a lot more damaging because there's a lot more mass that's being like rapidly moved around. I mean, another good example is like a tsunami. Not bad. It's rough. It could destroy a lot. But an earthquake happening on the land versus like the tsunami from an earthquake hitting the land, that earthquake would likely do a much more damage because that's traversal through rock, which is solid, which again means it's tougher to send shockwaves through, but if they go through, they're insanely more devastating.
つまり今説明したのは、万が一通信がつながらなかった場合という最悪の事態を想定した作戦だ。
I'm gonna assume that's gonna be the case.
これにより難易度が跳ね上がるのは確かだが、投下された核が想定通りに爆発した場合、その時点で地上に存在する小型種の 90% 以上が殲滅できると考えている。
Now, another thing too, like, it'd be nice if we could just Hail Mary that nuke, or maybe launch multiple nukes in just a gamble to try and make sure that like one of them gets through. And why not send them right down to the stab? You know, just right down the chimney and just boom. But then you gotta remember, they want to recover what's in. I keep bumping the microphone. They want to recover what's down there. So that's not going to be an option. But they're not going to tell us that. Dang.
つまり我々は核兵器を従前に運用するためにレーザーヤークトを行うというわけだ。
We're simply clearing the way for the nukes. Insane, but it does kind of maximize the chances of us like being in a fighting state afterwards. It's sad that that's true, but it is. You have a role to play, Beaky. Head in the game. We survived a nuclear explosion last time. Now it'll be actually an ally carrying out the attack. We'll be fine. Don't say that.
説明を続ける。この第3段階にはオプションが組み込まれている。現在、衛星軌道上ではオービットダイバーズが突入準備に入っている。
We have orbital divers that are functional enough to do that, and B. Whoa! That's pretty crazy. So imagine not only are you orbital diving into a battle zone, you're orbital diving to a battle zone that has very low heavy metal clouding. That clouding would have been dispersed by the nuke, and you're landing in a recently blasted nuclear zone. So you're talking radiation, you're talking superheat, you're talking EMP likely and overcharged particles in the air. So you're going in with no communication. You might not know where any backup is, let alone if there's any around, and your ability to communicate to them that you made it to the ground safely, if you did, is almost going to be non-existent. And if they're having trouble communicating, how are their guidance systems going to get them down? Like, they would probably only be able to drop if they could get proper, like if they avoid the EMP, clouds that are, orbiting the planet. She's like, holy crap!
だがオービットダイバーズの投入はあくまでも予定だ。筋力維持プログラムを使用しているとはいえ、衛星軌道で長期間待機していた降下兵の肉体が戦闘に耐えられるとは限らない。
And of course, I hadn't even thought about that part of it. Yeah, all of them have been up in space for months. Even if they've been able to maintain muscle mass via working out and getting proper food, both of which I see very unlikely, they'd still be in a rough point to be ready to just move right away into gravity. Astronauts that go up to the space station for a few months and come back have to go to rehab to walk properly. Good grief. They were chicken divers know, these are gonna be the most insane heroes of this entire operation.
機械計測により戦闘に耐える体力がないと判明した兵士は参加させない予定だが、降下してきた兵士も万全の体制ではないことを念頭に入れておくように。
And they'll be doing the most insane stuff.
参加できたとしても、それはごく少数の効果となることが予想されている。よって、機動降下作戦はあくまでもオプションとして認識してほしい。
Thatch, man.
そして、次の第4段階で背部内に突入する。 過去の記録から侵入遅延とともに作戦成功の可能性が下がることが判明している。
Yeah, so nuke goes off, and as soon as like the shockwave is gone, we gotta bolt. So yeah. God. I like how the risk of orbital drops landing on our TSFs is actually present. Minimal, but there. And that's still a better opportunity. It's still better to just go for it.
我々はここでアメリカ陸軍第1軍団第66戦術機構大隊と帝国近衛軍第1戦術機大隊を投入する。彼らがスタブ攻略の主力だ。
Major Walken and His Excellency Ikaruga, the big shots will be rolling up their sleeves and getting their hands dirty. Good. Good leaders would need to, especially in these situations. Hard to argue with that choice. The Takamakazuchi is the best of the machine, but that one dude's piloting technique was crazy weird. I've seen countless surface pilots fight, but all my years I've never seen anyone move like that guy.
なお、この際に帝国近衛軍は電磁投射砲を実戦使用する。
I know what this is from, even though I don't know a whole lot about it. I do know this is from somebody put it in a comment, but the thing is, like, I'd already kind of knew this. So yeah, like somebody just pointed out that that's what they were referring to, because I thought it might be a Susanoo, and I was like getting really excited about that. But you were like, no, it's the railgun, which is kind of like a baby version of what the Susanoo was, and it's not really an electromagnetic railgun. It's a G element railgun. It effectively, because there's G elements, manipulate gravity, so it's like a super railgun. That's just based on what little I know about it. I plan to play Total Eclipse, so don't give me too much details about it, but that is what that's from, is Total Eclipse. A railgun, straight up a science fiction, man. Like, how do you even power up the darn thing?
ハワイで運用試験を重ねた装備だが、携行砲弾数の都合上、戦局を打開できるだけの兵器とは言えないとの報告が上がっている。過剰な期待はするなよ。
It'll be great for Hail Marys, though. Sounds like a prototype that won't make much of a difference. Oh, it'll make a difference. It's just, we don't know to what extent.
JFK ハイブの南には、現在戦術機で侵入可能な33個のゲートが確認されている。スタブ内のデータがないため、どのゲートから侵入するのが正解かはわからない。
I mean, probably the best course would be to go straight for the stab itself. It's risky, but I mean, at least you know you're going in the right direction.
ただ通例で言えば、最も中心部に近いゲートが最短距離であることが多いのは事実だ。またこの突入に際しては、残存する戦術機の中から部隊を抽出し、先の突入部隊とともにスタブ内に送り込むつもりだ。
Right. So the main force is going to be by the main core leaders and the Raptors of the U.S. and the Royal Guard, and so we're going to be sent in behind them as soon as like we break in. Like it pretty much we're all just going to bum rush it.
地表に残った戦術機部隊は残敵を掃討しつつ兵站を構築。スタブにできるだけ多くの戦術機を投入することによってスタブ内部を一気に制圧する。反応路さえ破壊してしまえばベータどもは最寄りの巣に戻るしかなくなるはずだ。
Here's the thing though. A, that really makes it sound like they have found another hive. That's terrifying. Why haven't we been told that yet? B, if they're retreating to the nearest hive and there isn't another one, then they're just gonna bum rush the core. You're gonna go towards the reactor, and as soon as you mess with it at all, any beta in the surrounding like 100 miles is just gonna beeline right for them.
これは先の高21号作戦の後、佐渡島ハイブから逃走した敵残党が鉄原ハイブへ逃走したことから間違いないと思われる。
Alright, so in this timeline they did have Operation 21st, which I don't think was in like Unlimited. I think they scrapped that in that. So, and it's interesting, the Churawan hive, that's the one in Korea, right? Which is interesting because in alternative they went to the Yokohama, which is closer, which makes me think that if they did have Operation 21st, but they shut down the Alternative 4 program, they might have already killed the reactor at Yokohama, thus preventing that disaster. Operation 21st, aka Operation Iceberg, fierce battle where mankind somehow managed to capture a hive. Lieutenant Shirogane made the name for himself that day. Rumors say he fought like a man possessed. But despite his efforts, the operation called for the use of G-bombs, resulting in the hive's total destruction. Consequently, Japan became the only country on Earth that has been exposed to the after effects of the G-bomb twice. Okay, yeah. So that was different. They didn't have a Susanoo. They just tried to do it normally. And again, couldn't. Had to resort to weapons of mass destruction, specifically G-bombs.
反応炉破壊後、突入部隊はエキゾチックマテリアルを回収。それから脱出する。なお回収が困難な場合、撤退を優先する。
Right, but that stuff is freaking like we need anything we can help to get us to survive, and that stuff might be the key.
なお、背部突入の可能性がある部隊には専用装備として中継機を持たせる。該当部隊、設置方法及び条件などもその際確認しておくように。
Okay.
ご苦労だった小牧隊。冒頭にも述べたが、この作戦は人類の存続をかけた一大作戦だ。
Where have I heard that one before?
この作戦を成功させなければコスモポリタンも機能しない。まさに人類の未来を占う作戦である。
Yeah.
だが諸君なら必ずやり遂げてくれるものと私は信じている。お互い我々人類は本当に愚かであるのか。答えは否である。
Not hopelessly, but pretty close.
我々は人類の未来を切り開くために団結し、互いに持てる戦力、技術の全てをここに結集した。総国を超えた人類に何ができるのか。我々は異世紀原種に見せつけなければならない。
I mean, it's cool, but they don't have emotions. But
諸君らの働きに期待する。以上だ。
yeah. Batch, man, this is just gonna be nuts. February 17th, 2006. Here we go. So we'll probably do the start of this, but I don't know how far we're gonna get before I'm gonna stop. Hey, I don't know how she's doing.
最終調整完了。オールノミナル。これであとは明日の本番までやることはなしか。あとは JFK に戻ってすべての決着をつけてやる。
I hope so. I hope she does. Aw, I liked them. They
あ
were
なたた
cool.
ちが守ってくれたおかげで私はまだ生きている。
起きろ。早く起きてくれ。起きろ。起きろよリリア。こんなところで寝てちゃダメだ。
So, did she catch feelings for him after all? I loved
それに
Melvina.
して
She
も
was my
よ
favorite.
く寝てるね。
She's so
完
fun.
全に気を失ってるよこれ。どうするウィル。今ならいたずらし放題だよ。面白いから特別に見逃してあげる。
いたずらって。あのな。
よさないかい。放っておいてやりなよ。今日の議場任務が答えたんだろ。
I wonder if this is a memory then, because the honor guard was during the ceremony that she kind of helped orchestrate.
おかげでいい式になったじゃないか。
はーい。ウィル、いたずらするなら正々堂々やりなってマムが言ってるよ。
そういうこったウィルボー。こんなにけなげな子なんだ。手を出すときは堂々とやりな。
Oh, yeah, yeah.
はい、マム。手を出すときは正面から当たります。
I like him. I miss Will. He was great. He was good. He's good people. Oh my gosh. Only 200 kilometers till we reach the JFK Hive. Just a few more hours until showtime. Uh-oh. Ooh, this'll be interesting.
響。
Oh boy. Hibiki, how do you feel about, plural relationships? I don't think no. Hey, Ellen.
おう、どうしたんだこんな時間に。
Yeah, I imagine she's really having a rough time now. Like with overhearing Hibiki's like essentially proposal, and learning that a bunch of orbital divers, you know, her fellows that got stuck up there, are going to be joining the battle. She probably feels like she kind of should be with them, even though like it's irrational. And I'm sure like she's not trying. She's like the irrational part of her brain is probably telling her that she should have stayed with them.
髪取らなきゃいけないのにね。ごめんなさい。
Yeah, I know. I don't know if I would be able to either.
いいさ。どうせ気持ちが高ぶって眠れない。こうして話してた方が有意義だ。
God, my stomach is all over the place right now. Like, I'm not even in this operation, but I feel like I am. I always feel like I am.
そう。
Oh boy. So Alan couldn't sleep either, huh? Figures. Almost everyone's a nervous wreck. Not many of our guys have experience with hive capture operations. They're all going to be quite literally treading new ground.
いよいよ明日ね。正直、さすがに簡単に生きて帰れるとは思えないから、緊張するわ。
Yeah.
そういう言い方するなよな。だけどなんとかなるだろう。今までもそんな感じだったじゃないか。
Okay. Maybe we could have done more to prepare ourselves for today, but whatever. Hindsight is 2020.
響は楽観的で羨ましいわ。ほんと体調に向いてるわよ。周りを不安にさせないから。
No one but Hibiki's gonna be second guessing Hibiki.
今までとは何もかも違うでしょ。近いといえば、響が S11 を食わせたあのベータ戦だけど。
Again, be nice if we had some of those.
あれは結果的にああなっただけ。だから戦えた。最初からあの化け物が相手だと分かっていたら、正直絶望していたかもしれないわ。
I see. Ellen's like me. I handle things a lot better in the moment. Like, I don't like surprises, but I handle them emotionally much better than I handle, like, the long, dreaded wait. I hate that feeling. I hate it. She's not holding anything back, I see. Well, there's no bright side. Here I am, saying we'll manage somehow, but that's a small comfort when you're a few hours out and there's still a ton of outstanding TSF maintenance work to be done.
そういうわけで。
Oh boy.
今のうちに。
Oh boy.
言いたいことを言っちゃおうと思って。
Oh boy. I would be terrible at this. This would be awful.
まあ、愛の告白なら帰ってからにしてくれ。まだ死んでほしくない。
Alright, that was kind of mean. And second, you say that, but you've been raising the 100,000 of those things.
あら、どうして？
そうやって心残りを清算したやつって大抵死んじゃったりしね。小説とかハリウッド映画なんかでもさ。
Are you saying you see her as a supporting character?
あとは恋人を残してきたやつ。俺、この戦いが終わったら結婚するんだ。とか言って写真見せたりとか。あれはまずい。
But you said that! Every time I see that crap, I'm like, if you end up vaporized, that's completely on you, my dude. But you said that!
言われてみれば。確かにそういうキャラクターって、話を盛り上げたり、同情を誘っておいて、さっさと退場しちゃうよね。
Okay, writers. I'm feeling like this is starting to get a little too meta. I don't like it. It's not gonna make it any better if you kill my favorite people here, okay? Just because you're telling me, I told you so, doesn't make it okay.
だろ？
でも残念でした。私そういうんじゃないから。
そっかそっか。じゃあ話して。
好きよ、響。
Yeah, oofa.
私は響のことが好き。
What do you say? What do you say?
おいおい、言ってるそばからお前はもう、俺を殺す気かよ。
冗談じゃないわよ。
え？
だから、冗談じゃないわよ。
嘘じゃなくて？
嘘でもないわよ。私は気持ちを伝えてすぐに退場するようなエキストラとは違うもの。だから帰るまで我慢もしない。
Oh boy, what do you do now? But she knows. Remember that drawing in the lion we talked about, Hibiki? Clearly didn't do that.
その…
私のことを真剣に見てほしい。 私も見てくれればいいじゃなくて
But there's
私だけ見てほしい。
you're kind of in the position that Yuzuka was in with Agami. She's serious? Dude, she's dead serious. She is. Never thought Ellen would go for someone like me, of all people. All the time she's been flaunting her assets in my direction, she wasn't just doing that to mess with me? No, that was her defense when you didn't respond the way she hoped you would.
さあ答えを聞かせて。
いきなりかよ。
いきなりでも何か答えは出るでしょ。
Give it to her, man. You gotta tell her.
自分の心と向き合うのが怖い？でなければ何らかの答えは出せるはずでしょ。
いや。
よく考えて答えるのもいいし、直感で答えても構わないわよ。一応私はどんな答えでも受け付けるつもりだし。
つまり戻ってから答えるっていうのも答えとしてありってことか。
Why? Why can't you just say, aren't you taken already? Or are you gonna go talk to Yuzuka and say, like, by the way, can we make this a little bit of a group thing? Because, you know, I mean, there's precedence for it, but you gotta be, like, super open about that from the get-go. And I don't know. I don't think even Ellen would go for that. She says she wants him to look at her and only her. But she knows that or have they been keeping their relationship a secret? I didn't think they were, but maybe they have been. If Yuzuka and Hibiki have been keeping it secret and they managed to actually keep it secret, that would change things. But Ellen was listening on the deck when he pseudo proposed to Yuzuka, so she knows that, but she might be acting like it because she wants to confront the feelings head on.
ええ、そうね。私は響を困らせたいわけじゃないもの。
In all honesty, Ellen's pretty much what anyone would consider wife material. There's a lot of people in the audience in these comments that agree. She's a good listener, has a good head on her shoulders, is highly educated. Despite her qualities, she can be humble and never looks down on others. Plus, she's funny and gets along great with other people. She's got a lot of points in her favor. Basically, she's one hell of a catch. And don't even get me started on those massive milk bombers. I mean, you didn't have to say it, but I kind of appreciate it.
なんていうか、
Any red-blooded male would be ripping off his pants by now. No, they wouldn't if they were in a committed relationship. A woman like that saying she likes me? I've used up all my man luck, it looks like. And interesting. Why are we seeing the parade of all these characters? There she is. Man, I'm just surrounded by incredible women, aren't I? Yes, you are. I know the birds of a feather are supposed to flock together, but still, this is overkill. And that's also got to be why one dude I'm close with is on the boil. Close with is a boil on the butt of life. A lot of equivalent exchange in action.
じゃあ、今返答する。どんな答えだろうが、本当は先延ばしなんて望んでないんだろう。
Good, good.
そうね。残念ながら私、答えに心揺さぶられて、平常でいられなくなるようなうぶさを持ち合わせていないからね。
I don't know. Playing hard to get, huh? Well, Yuzuka's the kind of girl who would be brooding over this for days. I say Ellen has the right attitude.
知ってる。だから言うよ。
No point beating around the bush. Lieutenant Agami's right. I shouldn't string her along. Finally!
ごめん。エレンとは付き合えない。
理由を聞いてもいい？
Yeah?
大丈夫よ。そんなにウブじゃないって言ったでしょ？
それは、
Did I tell her? At this point, I kind of have to. Yeah, you do. Here goes nothing.
ユズカと付き合ってるからだ。
やっぱりそっか。時すでに遅し。
気づいてたのか。
それはそうよ。ユズカの空気が全然違うし。 平成を装ってるあたりがね。まったく微笑ましくてね。
So they did try to hide it.
響が平然としすぎてるから確証が持てなかったのよ。筋金入りの鈍感ね。
鈍感ってなんだよ。
恋人からの熱い眼差しにも気づかないのによく言うわ。ま、その分じゃせいぜいキス止まり。それもろくにしてないかな。
Again, I don't know if the unedited non-Steam version had more than that.
それは。
Oh, yep.
恋人同士が鍵付きの個室で隣同士。私だったら我慢できないけど、日本人ってそういうところストイックだって聞くけど本当なのね。
Something tells me that wasn't meant as a compliment. Crap. Rather sounds to me like she's saying I ain't man enough to give Yuzuka a proper seeing to.
松風はそんなことねえぞ。日本人にだってたくましい奴はいる。
She's like, you're missing the point here. The heck am I even saying?
今思いっきり男としての沽券に関わるようなこと言わなかった？
No, I think what Ellen's doing is saying, hey, we all could die tomorrow. Maybe you should be with Yuzuka right now? Because that's what I've been thinking.
言った。
Why the heck am I saying effing Matsukaze is more of a real man than I am?
まったくバカね。でもそれでいいのよ。松風注意はたくましくなんかないもの。あの人は現実の厳しさを最初から諦めて逃げてるだけでしょ。本気で女遊びしてるかも怪しいもんだわ。
Oh, so Ellen's pointing out that he's probably scared of commitment.
でもそういうわけにもいかなくなってくると思うけどね。
本当に大切な人？松風に？
他人のことはいいじゃない。今は響と私とゆずかのことよ。
そうだな。そんなわけで俺はエレンの気持ちには応えられない。すまん。
That sucks to hear. I've been on that end before. I've been on both sides of this discussion. She really thought this through.
じゃあ私が都合のいい女でもいいからってすがったら
I
ど
mean,
うする？
I'm guessing she's kind of half joking, but at the same time, she's probably would take him up on it.
そんなことはしないだろ
わからないわよ。私にだって体がうずくことはあるのよ。女には性欲ないと思ってた？
それは。
That shameless woman!
松風注意みたいに好みのタイプなら誰でもいいとは思えないしさ。抱かれるなら響がいいわ。
Good grief. Ugh. Be strong, Hibiki, come on.
ゆずかには絶対に言わない。奪い取ろうとも思わない。体の関係だけでいい。
I think this is a
どうす
test,
る？
though, because I don't for a second believe that.
そいつは確かに魅力的な提案だな。男だったら絶対に誰だって一度は夢見ることだろうよ。
While I wouldn't go for it, I would be really, like, flattered that I even got the offer in that regard, but I'd also be kind of horrified that someone would be actually okay with it. Like, that's the thing that's always amazing to me. It's like, when people get caught up in an affair, I've heard so many stories of people, you know, like, falling for a girl at work or something else, like somebody at work or someone away from the family, having a side relationship, getting caught, and or just voluntarily leaving their original family to go and be with this other person that they feel like they're more in love with, right? But here's the thing. You're talking about a person who was willing to go behind to be like knowingly going behind your wife's back or husband's back based on, you know, whatever gender stuff is going on with you or them. Like behind your significant other's back. They were okay with that. And then they get surprised when it happens again down the road. Infatuation is intense, but short-lived. Love is a slow burning coal. It's like a pilot light. It's consistently there. And while the flames of passion can come and go with time and life and just, trials, life gets hard, and that intensity isn't going to stay the same. It can't. Not in every way. Like, you can maintain it very healthily, obviously, but it's never going to be the same because people change as they grow and develop. But the pilot light, the core of that, has to be consistent. It has to have a good source, and it has to have something that can withstand like the storms of life. And I don't see Ellen being the kind of person who would really willingly jeopardize that. I know she definitely wants him, and I'm guessing that she's kind of scared that she isn't going to be able to experience everything she wanted to before she dies, and that's kind of what she's worried about. But I think even if he decided, oh yeah, sure, let's do that, I think she would actually be like, no, I couldn't do that. I think I genuinely just don't think she could do it. I think she wants to see what he says.
でも無理だろ。
そうかしら。
お前はそんな抱かれ方をして幸せなのかよ。なんて口にするつもりはない。
Yeah.
それで傷つくのはお互い自己責任だし、それまでの間は確かに幸せもあるんだろうし。だけどその時、ユズカは違う。一方的にただ傷つけられて悲しむだけだ。
Bitch. Oh my gosh.
俺にそんなことできるわけない。
Sorry. Think about this is quote for the ages. We're talking about an affair between consenting adults. Even if we are end up hurting each other, we'd have plenty of fun along the way. But Yuzuka would only suffer. She would only end up hurt and sad. I can't do that to her. That's pretty cool. That's a really, really good way to look at that. I've already heard her enough. Never again.
悪いけど、その手には乗らないぜ。俺が答えに迷ったら、説教の一つでもくれようと思ってたんだろ。正直お前、本当にいい女だから、心の中今でも揺れまくりだ。でも、俺はユズカを選んだんだ。
At least he's honest, saying look, you're giving me a run, you're giving Yuzuka a run for her money, but for Yuzuka's sake, I went so far as to expose Asagi's weakness, the weakness of the women I used to love. How could I throw her away after that?
とりあえずは合格ってことにしておこうかな。
I wonder if Yuzuka was listening. Called it.
ありがとう。
やめてよ。かしこまらないでよ。
あのさ、もし万が一だけど希望するなら配置転換だって申請したっていいんだぜ。俺はお前がやりやすいようにしてくれれば。
That's a healthy attitude too.
それこそやめて。絶対にこのままがいいわ。私にとってこの体はかけがえのないものなの。ただの戦友の関係を超えた特別な存在。
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
ここから離れる時はタイが解散する時か私が死ぬ時よ。
国に帰る時ってのが抜けてるぞ。いつかは帰るんだろ。
どうかしらね。だって響は国境にこだわってなんかいないでしょ。
ああ、そうかもしれないな。いろいろあって考え方は変わったかもしれない。
Yeah, it's true. When I first left home, my mindset was the same as any regular Japanese person. I was under immense pressure not to screw up. Also, other foreigners wouldn't dare look down on me.
結局、国を作るのは人間なんだ。俺はどこにいても日本人。ああ、そうか。だから、対立や同一化するんじゃなくて、お互いを認めることができればいいって。
Good. It's a good attitude. I understand now. My outlook on life has been shaped by my interactions with people from all over the world. But at the end of the day, I'm still Japanese. My perspective will always be different from a foreigner's. That difference in cultural heritage doesn't mean we need to waste our lives fighting each other. Far from it. We need to talk to one another, learn how to put ourselves in the shoes, and work to find some common ground. Okay. We have a lot more in common with even the most alien of people in nationality, religion, politics, we still have a lot more in common with them than we would ever likely really consider, but we do. Even if we're not in the same side on a lot of issues, we should still be on the same side as in, like, we're human beings. We should treat each other with respect. That's how it should be. Maybe we'll fall short in the end, it's always a possibility, but what matters is the most is that we never belittle our counterparts. Rivalries don't need to spiral into outright hostility.
それが事実だから、シアトルの日本人たちは毎日を生きていられるのよ。それは私も同じ。だから、これからも一緒にいさせてよ。
わかった。これからもよろしく頼む。
じゃあ。
Oh gosh.
はい。
A handshake?
なんだよ、かしこまって。
She's gonna pull him in and give him a hug. Yep. Oh, no. Nope, that was more than I expected. If Yuzuka sees this, though, this is gonna be a problem. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Ellen? What was that?
親愛のキスよ。ハリウッド映画で見たことない？
Go fetch! She went full... Wow.
いや、あります。はい。
ロシア人は男同士でもキスするらしいわよ。松風注意とやってみれば？
No!
冗談でもやめてくれ。うわー、気持ち悪い。想像しかけちゃったじゃねえか。
でも緊張は解けたでしょ？
あ、そういや。
Thanks, Ellen.
それじゃ明日は
Go see Yuzuka.
ああ。
She's holding it together. She's gonna go around that corner, though, and I don't think it's gonna be quite that good. She's really good at hiding her emotions, but she's also really good at feeling them, which is good. It hurts, but it's good. February 18th, 2006. It's not you, it's me achievement. Oh boy. I've heard that before. Oh my gosh, there it is. Holy crap, there it is. Ugh. Never would I imagine a shape could make me so terrified.
各艦所定位置に到達しました。作戦計画に遅れなし。
I know this is really mean, but we're gonna stop here. If I go any longer, I'm not gonna want to stop. And I think we've got a lot to digest there. I was kind of right. I did call it was gonna be all pre-stuff, but yeah. Got to talk about stuff, got to share some of my theories about expectations, what I think might happen. Hopefully that was entertaining for you. That surprising confession, like kind of surprising, but kind of not surprising from Ellen. But yeah, he was talking about the stupid death flags. He literally did what he said you shouldn't do, which is so dumb that he didn't see that, or maybe he was just hiding that fact. But Ellen's throwing out death flags too. Everyone but Miyono is throwing out death flags left, right, and center. Is she gonna be the sole survivor of the squad? That'd be insane. Datch, man. I am nervous. These operations are always insane, every single time. Like, I have butterflies in my stomach right now, and it's not gonna be any better next week. But we're gonna have to wait till then. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for joining me and sharing these moments as we prepare for battle. I'm excited to see what you think, but I'm also really excited to see what happens next week, and I'm sure that's what you guys are waiting for too. Guys and gals. I don't know. I say guys, but I've been thinking maybe I need to break that habit, because whilst, like, I say guys, I don't mean like male. I just mean everybody. Like, I've always called all my friends guys. It's kind of an American thing. But maybe I should stop that. I've actually had people get confused about it in the channel before, and then, although it's kind of like my go-to, like, how's it going, guys, like starting up a video, I should probably try and break that habit. I know it's a weird thing to be bringing up, but it's been kind of like on my mind oddly today. Maybe I'll try and change that up this coming week. So, like, Maybe I just need to think of maybe I should just call you what you guys are. Lab mems. How's it going, labs? Lab mems. That sounds a little weird. I don't know. We'll go for it. We'll see what happens, regardless of that. I look forward to next week. Brace yourselves. It's gonna get nasty. Thank you for the patrons, by the way. Stumbling my words here. I'm grateful for all your support directly. It's a backup, a great way for us to continue to have support for the channel that helps me be more effective and efficient with the time and resources that I get to have more content. We're exploring new kinds of games that are story-based that are just wonderfully fun. And I'm excited to continue to do so. I hope you guys check out the series on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You know, we're doing Yakuza 0 and Trails in the Sky. They are fantastic so far. So if you haven't given them a shot, I highly recommend you do. So hopefully I'll see you guys there. But regardless of that, thank you so much for being here. And until next video, watch me ever see me next. I'll see you there.